please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Markets start with a third of a percentage point in terms of gains. 33 higher on the Nifty, 10,465. 102 higher on the Sensex, 34,449, 450 almost. And the Nifty Bank is just flat, 25 points, 20 points higher, losing a little bit of steam now.
The Nifty is holding more or less flattish or maybe mildly in the green, but pain still being seen in the mid-cap space.
Absolutely, and welcome back from a holiday. The pain in the mid-cap space, equal number of stocks advancing and declining. Those red and green lines cannot seem to keep away from each other. But the interesting part is, while the Nifty is sauntering around the 10,450 mark, will be very interesting to see what happens at the higher end and the lower end. Because remember, yesterday we broke below the 50, the 100, as well as the 20-day moving average. Just keep an eye out on the 50-day moving average, which is about 20 points from here. At the higher level, if we do not manage to keep there, are we going to the 200-day moving average, which is 10,330? If not, if we're moving higher, then the 100-day moving average is at 10,538, the level where the Nifty opened yesterday. So we'll keep an eye out on all this, these levels.
The Nifty is holding with some mild gains, but how do they trade the Nifty from here? Should be initiating a long position, or do you believe that in fact this bounce is a good shorting opportunity? Sandeep Wagle is with us in the studio. Hey Sandeep, what's the view on the Nifty at around 10,450 odd?
Good morning, Nigel. Any move towards 10,450, 10,480 should be shorted into.
Right.
I don't see the Nifty crossing 10,550. That you can take a 50-70 point stop loss. And on the downside, it's a matter of time. 10,330, 10,300, somewhere around that is what I am looking at.
Turning out to be a session where at least the Nifty and the Sensex are showing some amount of an improvement. So up around 0.4 and 0.5% or 0.5% respectively at this point in time.
Do you think we recover past 10,500? That still remains a pivotal mark?
Yeah, good morning. The answer is yes. Yesterday we saw what could be termed as an exhaustion day. The markets were flat and they suddenly started falling for no reason or just tumbling one after the other. Supports were broken. That sometimes suggests that all the sellers have sold and now really they are exhausted in selling. That's exactly what's happening today. We went down, tested those lows and are bouncing back. So the short-term low may well be in place. Short traders should be closing their short positions and actually slowly going long in the Bank Nifty and the Nifty both. Now this is a rally in what is an ongoing downtrend, but we have seen we had a rally from 10,000 to 10,900. So these rallies are actionable and tradable. Just buy it and then see where it goes.
Shubham, over to you then. F&O strategies for today.
Hi, good morning, Ekta. So I'll start with Nifty first. A couple of development to be noted over here. Nifty did breach the 10,500 mark yesterday, but if you look at the OI development that is happening today, 10,500, 10,400 put writers have become very aggressive and they've started taking a trade on selling in the money put, which is clearly indicating that the market participants are expecting a bounce from here, and that could be really steep. So with that view, the first strategy would be a buy on Nifty. So it's a very simple one. We just have to buy a call option of 10,500. The target for the same would be 100 and a stop loss can be maintained at 10 rupees. The second strategy would be in Bank Nifty. So if you look at the Bank Nifty for the past 2-3 days, it has been relatively outperforming. And technically also we do see a kind of a bottoming out pattern that is getting formed in Bank Nifty. So I think a bull call spread is something that would be preferred. The reason is that, at the end of the expiry, normally the theta decay is very, very steep. So that's why we are not taking a naked call there and converting it into a bull call spread. The trade would be to buy a 25,800 call option and sell a 26,000 call option. And that is for the next expiry, that's 31st May. The target profit would be 4,800 and the stop loss can be maintained at 1,500 at a strategy level. And the third strategy would be again on TCS. As Sudarshan was also talking about TCS, we do feel that, IT sector will do really great from here. And Infosys has already seen a breakout. TCS did see a breakout on Monday and it entered a pullback mode, and now again it is preparing for a up move. So with that view, a bull call spread can be deployed on TCS. The trade would be to buy 3,600 call option and sell 3,700 call option. On a strategy level, the target would be 9,000 rupees and the stop loss would be 3,500 rupees.
So 40 points on the Nifty right now, 10,470 odd is where we are at. So it's exactly where it was at 11 when we began the show. Prakash Gaba is with us in our studios. Prakash, thanks for being here. Your sense in terms of whether finally we've in a way bottomed out for now in this correction?
Well, I would say that basically, Prashant, the structure basic is still weak.
Okay.
Yesterday's low shouldn't have been broken. That has broken yesterday. So a day for yesterday's low. Having said that, which basically means that it can still slide down. Yesterday we had a target of 10,417. That was achieved like a target. Was good. Now, as long as that low holds, and if it breaks today, tomorrow or day after, we could go in for a fresh bout of selling. So far, purely because of FNO expiry, for the options expiry on bank, we are seeing some kind of a short covering. So far today, purely for intraday purposes, looks like it has bottomed out. We could see an up move today. So any dips today could be bought into. Where does it go from here? The chances are we can climb up to 10,480 to 10,520 on the Nifty is a possibility.
Wanted to start by asking you about what you think the likely range for the Nifty is now. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was around 10,000, up to around 10,700, but it seems to have moved lower now.
It's tough to talk about the range of Nifty, but yes, I mean the kind of macro we are having at the moment, there can be a cut in Nifty, anything between plus and minus 5%. So Nifty will be range bound. At the same time, I don't envisage a serious downward movement in Nifty, but very tough to talk of a precise number as of this moment.
The benchmark indices are higher by close to about 0.3, 0.4%. There was a bit of a scare around that 10 o'clock mark when the Nifty, the Bank Nifty, the mid-cap index all took a nosedive. But from those levels, there has been a recovery. So, for instance, the Nifty is seen close to about a 50-point recovery from the low point of the day. For the mid-cap index, it's more than a 100-point recovery from the lows. That said, the advanced decline ratio is on an even keel, and this is despite starting a trade with a significant advantage to the gaining side. So, let's get the intraday chart up for you on your screen. For the last 2 hours, those lines haven't moved.
Hi, Rima. Well, we're holding in the green as we speak, so let's see whether or not we can hold on. Remember, from the highs that we saw, that's just around a week or so ago, we're moving towards the 11,000 odd mark, 10,930 odd. From there, we have corrected closer around 500 points approximately. So let's see whether or not we can go ahead and conquer the 10,500 mark in today's trading session. Sandeep, coming across to you first, the trade on the Nifty.
Afternoon, Nigel. I think Nifty is still a sell on every rise. Maybe 10,480, 10,500, stop loss of 10,550, and I still expect lower levels of 10,350 or so.
So it's green on the screen when it comes to Nifty as well as Sensex, and but it's the mid-cap space which has taken a beating again. There was some bit of relief coming in the last 2 days, but today again it has dipped in the red. So that's the one which is really underperforming the markets, while Bank Nifty is still holding on. So overall, advance and decline neck and neck. Take a look at that breadth as well. In fact, that has really narrowed in some time of trade. In fact, in the recent, and it's crisscrossing each other. So either ways, it can really go.
Markets are at the high point of the day. Nifty has conquered the 10,500 mark. The Sensex too higher by about 270 points.
What a move it's turning out to be. So look at the intraday chart and you'll see that post about noon, it's just been a secular one-way trend higher. We're at the high point of the day, so it's looking good. We saw some bit of stability earlier on when we saw the EM currencies stabilize, and since then, it looks like the market has just taken off. The spot of bother, though, remains the mid-cap index, but still considering where it was in the morning, I'd say it has, definitely improved its mood since then. So it's still down about 0.25% and underperforming the frontline.
54 points on the Nifty, so we are cruising along nicely, right above the 10,000. Okay, we're at what, 10,483 or so. So a little bit of come down from the high of the day. The high was 10,519. Prakash Gaba is with us. So on exactly that point, Prakash, how would you rate today's 0.5% gain on the Nifty so far?
In the morning when we came here, we said the target on the upside was around 10,480 to 10,520. Today we have seen the high at 10,519. The target is achieved. We are still into a bear mode. This was an expansion in the down move. Possibly we can see around 10,460 as well now. But unless it closes about 10,620, we must assume the down move continues. And if it breaks today's low, tomorrow, today or day after, whenever, it goes into fresh bout of selling.
Market has certainly come off a tad bit, and look at the mid-cap index once again heading towards a pain point. So 140 points now down on the mid-cap index. It's down about 0.7% for now. Even the Nifty, which at one point was up about 0.5%, now up about 0.3.
The point is that, as you pointed out, the Nifty is a distance away from the 10,500 plus that it tried to reach. It got decisively pushed down from that position. Why that is a bit of a worry is today we don't have that massive worry over currency churn that we had yesterday. Same time, yesterday we had the Asian markets ending rather in the red, over 1.5%. European markets were about 1.5% in the red. Today we have a slightly benign global backdrop and we supposedly should have had some bit of short covering, and yet it's not really taken us much higher.
Oh yes, all rallies in this market will be short covering, Lata. You know, the way it went to 10,510 and has slipped again is telling you that it's going to be a bit of a problem now. In fact, if it wasn't for the weekly options expiry, the Bank Nifty could have been even weaker. But because there's expiry, perhaps, you know, it stays on here for some time. And the mid-cap index, once again, just see that index. Because that index intraday would tell you what is the problem with this market right now. We have revisited the morning low.
Weakness to weakness.
And this is where the recovery was sold into. And as we discussed in the morning, you know, names like Jain Irrigation, where good results were sold into, IGL, where good results were sold into.
Just a word on Nifty Bank as well. Is that also a trade where you'll short at higher levels? Or would you avoid that altogether today because it's expiry?
I think, you know, it's kind of, I would short it if it starts trading below 25,700 and take a 70-80 point kind of stop. Right now it's above that, so I'll not short it right now. Maybe closer to about 26,000 to about 26,050 would be a good shorting area.
You're seeing the Bank Nifty soar now to almost 1% in terms of gains. The shouldering the gain is largely Axis Bank, Bank of Baroda, ICICI Bank, SBI.
I think, you know, what the Bank Nifty has done is on the half-hourly chart, it's given a reversal. Sustaining about 25,900, could see some more strength actually to about 26,200, 250. Earlier I was of the opinion of shorting around 26,000, but there is some good indicator set up on the half-an-hour chart. So maybe, you know, there's another 150, 200 points. If not today, possibly can play out till tomorrow afternoon.
Index went to 10,520. That's the Nifty. Sensex is also up even better, actually 1% higher, 333 up on the Sensex, and the Bank Nifty, of course, stands tallest, 1.4% higher, 351. That brings it to 26,038. In a minute, we will get the technical experts to tell us whether some technical lines have been crossed for them to go long now, or is this even an even better shorting opportunity. But before that, we still have Ajay Budke with us. Ajay, you think this market has too much of downsides, or do you think it's getting rather solidly protected at 10,400?
I think 10,400, if you take a medium-term view, is a good level to enter. Because most of the concerns sort of, you know, at the current level of oil prices, in my opinion, have got factored in. Now one will obviously have to wait in case there's a further sharp flare-up in oil prices, then obviously there is a further downside. Otherwise, I think more or less we've had a good correction from 10,900 levels, and the corporate earnings sort of, you know, take off, although being slow. I think a clear indicator is that we have the earnings have bottomed out. And I expect sort of, you know, as we proceed into the second half of the year, if the monsoons are normal, one can see a sharp sort of a consumption-led growth will continue to post very good picture. Especially the FMCG names, the volume growth numbers, especially in rural areas, have been double digits in many cases. Pricing power is not yet back, but I think in second half with a good monsoon, hopefully even that should come back. So one should not be excessively negative in the market. FMCG, retail names, auto ancillaries, and retail-focused names in banking and financial services, one should keep the faith.
100-point rally on the Nifty is where we are closing. 350-point rally on the Bank Nifty on the weekly options expiry day, and of course the mid-cap index ends in the red, ending at 83 point higher because of adjustment, and Bank Nifty ending 331 point higher because of adjustment. Prakash, I was, you know, of course, on CNBC Awaaz earlier in the day, and you know, I think it was 10:30 in the morning, and you made a point that for today the market has bottomed out, and you want to now participate on the long side. So that call has worked out, but you think it was only a short covering move, or you guess that we could have made a bit of a bottom for the near term as well?
Looks like so far when I'm looking at the internal structure notes that it is a near-term bottom, because the move that we have seen is one up move, a down move, and a higher up move. Looks good to me. As long as 10,480 holds, I think we have made a new bottom out here. But if yesterday's low goes, then we'll go for a fresh run. Until then, up move starts, maybe for 200 points more.
Oh, 200. Mitesh, what is your interpretation? You were also closely watching 10,520, 530. We did touch 520. It's only averaging that has brought it down to 513. What's the tomorrow trade?
Yeah, so tomorrow I think, I'll keep a close watch on the Bank Nifty. That's the index which kind of pulled up the Nifty. And if it stays about 25,950, then I think we'll have a stronger or a more, better pullback. I think we might head towards levels of roughly around 10,620, 630 on the upside. So there could be another 100 points upside happening. We've kind of reduced our short exposure on the indices towards the end. We had shorted at about 10,510 odd levels, so lost about 20-25 points. But I think with the Bank Nifty reversal happening on the hourly and the half-hourly charts, I think there could be about 100 points more upside happening on the Nifty. But around 10,620, again, I think, if we show some weakness or failure to get past those levels, we would be aggressively short.